I want to do a new video series that I call the Presidential Procession. Presidential Procession. I'm going to do it in conjunction with my other videos, but this is just going to be short 3-minute clips on the presidents so that you've got the big ideas of what happened during their terms. And we're going to start in the most logical spot with number 1, George Washington. But first, coffee. After coffee, copies. Alright, now, let's get on to GW. We got coffee, we're ready to roll. So George Washington was the first president of the United States. He's also the first to be unanimously elected, meaning that he got all the votes. Now at the time, in our country, president was decided by the guy with most votes, vice president was decided by the guy with the second most votes. Washington's vice president was John Adams. Washington rolls in as president and realizes very quickly that he's got no idea what he's doing because there's never been a president before. So he decides to set up the cabinet. The cabinet is a group of advisors who are there to help him make decisions. His group of advisors consists of 4 main parts. The Secretary of State, whose job it is to help negotiate with other countries. The Secretary of War, whose job it is to make sure the military is ready to rock and roll if the need arises. He's got the Secretary of the Treasury, who controls money production and keeping the economy up and running. And he's got the Attorney General, who's going to represent the United States government in any situations that arise. He's got his bases covered with his advisors, but that doesn't mean that everything's going to run smoothly for him. Alright, so Washington's first real test as president is what we call the Whiskey Rebellion. Alexander Hamilton, in his desire to get us out of debt from the Revolutionary War, decides that we need to put a tax on something. We've got to tax something so that we can make some money. The thing he decides to tax is whiskey. Whiskey's produced a lot in the backcountry, it's produced in cities, it's produced everywhere, and this whiskey is sold at a pretty good rate. So he decides to slap a tax on whiskey so that people are going to help fund us getting out of debt. Unfortunately, farmers in Pennsylvania weren't so thrilled with this. So Washington has to roll in with 16,000 troops and put down a rebellion that starts over it when people refuse to pay their taxes. Alright, along with Washington's cabinet, he sets a couple of other precedents during his presidency as well. Things that people never have done before as president, which is cool because, you know, he's the first, so everything he does is a precedent. He does an inaugural address where he comes into office and tells people exactly what he's hoping for the country. In this inaugural address, he lays out his plans, what he hopes to accomplish, what he hopes to do to benefit the country. He's the first president to willingly step down after 2 terms, and he sets up that precedent that presidents, not the same word, are only supposed to serve 2 terms. And they do all the way up until FDR, over a 100-year span. One of the things he does, though, on his way out that we also get as a precedent from him is the farewell address. He lists off what he hopes the country's going to be able to accomplish and what he sees as the problems that the next president is going to have to deal with. Now, in Washington's farewell address, he sets out a couple of things. There are 4 parts to his address, but there's really 2 main ones that everybody gets caught up on, so those are the ones we're going to focus on. First, he says there shouldn't be political parties. Political parties serve to divide the United States and divide people from working towards the betterment of everyone. If we have political parties, they're going to be more concerned with appealing to their party than they are to helping the country. And the last thing is, he warns the United States against permanent foreign alliances. He doesn't think the United States should be making foreign deals. Not entirely. He doesn't believe that they should make permanent foreign deals. If we both have something we want and we can work together to get it, great. But that doesn't mean we have to be besties forever. We can work towards our goal and then part ways. And his plan is that would keep us out of a lot of the foreign drama that's going on in Europe with the wars between Britain and France and everybody else. Alright, so that was Washington in what was supposed to be 3 minutes, but as always, I talk too much. If you found this video helpful, click like. If you want to see more content like this, click subscribe. And as always, check out my social media handles to see what's going on behind the scenes, see what's coming up next. Thanks for watching Learning with Sprayberry, where we make social studies fun, easy, and educational. Thanks.